The guys behind the From Corner to Corner podcast are diving deep into Montgomery County High School sports with the Community Trust Bank Coaches Corner. Join us as we talk local high school athletics with your local coaches. Whether you're a student athlete or a screaming fan, this is the place to turn to get the inside scoop before the next big game. And now it's time for the show with Sean Kiper, Neil Payne, Adam Muncy, and Wes Crouch.
And we're live from the Community Trust Bank studio here on North Maysville Avenue.
Yes, it is.
This is the From Corner to Corner Coaches Corner, presented by Community Trust Bank.
Your friend in banking.
Equal housing lender.
Member FDIC. And Sean is with us today. He's just behind the camera.
Because we figured our ratings would go up if Sean's face wasn't
Through the roof. Like Cameron Grimes, Coach, to the moon. That's where our ratings are going, okay?
Okay, I'm muting Adam's mic.
So, thank you for joining us live on Facebook. I think we are live on Facebook. And YouTube and all the other live places that we are. Before we get started, take a moment, please, and share that out to all your friends, family, aunts, uncles, even people you don't really like. Just share it out because the more people that hear about it, the more recognition we can get to our athletes and to our coaches and to our programs. Yep. So before we get started, we'd like to take a moment and thank our sponsors for making this happen. Of course, Community Trust Bank, Kimsoft, Tutu Sweet Treats, CRC Renovations, Caswell Pruitt Realty, Southern Sweeties, Jacobs Auto Body, and as we heard last week on our Menifee County show, Brett Weehunts from Kentucky Farm Bureau in Frenchburg.
Some people say State Farm, but he's Farm Bureau. Some people messed up. I'm glad we still have him as a sponsor this week.
It was not me. I was not here last week.
It wasn't me. I wasn't here last week.
I mean, so then if it wasn't you, it wasn't Wes, it wasn't me, that means it was Sean.
But we're not going to say
We're not going to say it was Sean. And, of course, he sponsors our Menifee County Athlete of the Month.
Adam just said somebody. He didn't say it wasn't him.
Well, but by deductive reasoning.
Process of elimination.
We eliminated 3 of us.
I didn't hear that.
Okay. So, joining us tonight, finally we're getting to the introduction. Joining us tonight, we have Coach Miniard. I got it wrong last time. I suck. I'm sorry. He is, of course, our MOCO baseball coach, and he brought with us. I'm going to let you introduce your players.
Yeah, so I have with me tonight Blake Miniard. He's a sophomore. I got Jayse Mays. He's a sophomore. And Ethan Overholser. He's our senior.
Woo! Good job. Well, boys, how are you all?
Really good.
Yep, doing good.
Yep, doing pretty good.
So, are you ready to go back to school?
Not really.
No.
I'm going to have to say no.
Ready to get back to baseball, but
Yeah.
not
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So, Coach, tell us what the off seasons look like. You know, last time we talked to you, you were just new on the job.
I don't even think the ink had dried on the
right.
contract yet.
It was I think
brand
your
new.
first time in Mount Sterling. You met with us.
Yes, that is correct.
So you've had several months now. Tell us about tell us about the state of the team, the state of the program, how you feel about everything.
Well, we started back weightlifting back in October 1st. I think last time I was here, I shared I felt that was a very important part of my system that I wanted to bring to Montgomery County. And so we've been going hard at it for about 12, 13 weeks now. I mean, like I said, first week in October we started lifting. Then a couple of weeks after we started, doing some cage work and starting, conditioning and stuff like that. The boys have been working extremely hard. I'm extremely pleased from what I've seen so far. We've had probably about 22, 23 guys that's been consistently coming, minus the flu and all that stuff here lately.
Right.
But I'm very pleased with what I've seen. I mean, these guys have worked extremely hard. I've got probably 8 or 9 guys, and 3 of them sitting right here. Jayse has put on 20 pounds. I think Ethan's put on about 15. I mean, I've got guys that's put on 15, 20 pounds. I mean, probably about 8 or 9 of them. Everybody's got extremely strong. Everybody's getting faster. I mean, it's been a real pleasure to watch these kids work that hard. I mean, they're very balled in right now. They're focused, and I think they're ready to get on the field right now.
Well, and I think a lot of that speaks to you. You know, obviously you have brought something that makes them want to show up, makes them want to do this. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, this is voluntary stuff right now, correct?
Yes, sir. It's not mandatory until February 12th.
Right. So, I mean, you got kids that are coming out because they want to, and they want to get better. So, who are, aside from the three here, who are some other guys that have stood out to you so far?
You know, a lot of guys stood out. You all know Striker Davison. You know, obviously we know him from football, just talented football player, great athlete. Striker's come in and really, really devoted himself right now to, you know, learning the game more and really, you know, working out. He's extremely strong, young man, fast. We're going to be extremely fast. I think I mentioned that before I even really got to know these guys before the season. We're going to have a whole lot of speed this year. Like I said, you know, I got three guys right here. These two right here are extremely fast. You got Striker Davison. You also have Eli Leach that has Eli's probably he's worked his tail off in the weight room and conditioning. Eli's probably lost about 35 pounds right now and got in tremendous shape. He's gotten so much stronger and flexibility, and he's just doing a tremendous job. I got a lot of Samuel Cooper. I'm going to forget somebody because you put me on the spot now. I'm going to get in trouble tomorrow in the weight room. Samuel Cooper, you know, he's going to end up being our starting catcher. Extremely talented young man, working very hard right now. He'll be our starting catcher more than likely this coming year. We have several freshmen that's doing an outstanding job. Brandon Dorr, he's actually a transfer from GRC. He's doing extremely well right now. We have you're making me lose names right here. Help me out, guys. Braden Dorr. What did I say? Rex Turner. I can't forget about Rex. Rex is he's put on so much weight and size right now. We've had to dial him back a little bit. Rex has put on about 23 pounds of muscle and has got just crazy strong right now. He's crushing the ball in the cage. He's doing exceptionally well. Help me out, guys.
Evan.
Evan Kofer. Like I said, I'm going to bring it. I have my sheet, and I said, well, I won't bring it in tonight.
No, because they won't ask me.
They won't ask me that, so I've already messed up. Next time, I promise, I will bring it in so I can have all the names from it. Evan Kofer, he's another freshman, just really talented. He played in a tournament actually this past week in Florida. He sent me some video of him hitting and pitching. Looked extremely good down there this past week.
So the football team talks about, they've got 23 sophomores.
Right.
Is your team got a lot of sophomore driven, guys? Or do you have a lot of sophomores on the team right now? It sounds like you said a lot of sophomores. You already said 3 or 4 freshmen and whatnot. So young team, but it seems like that sophomore class throughout sports is big.
Yeah. I think the whole school right now, even the basketball team, football team, especially the baseball team, we got about 9 sophomores right now. Gotcha. So we're going to be extremely sophomore heavy.
Gotcha.
If a couple of freshmen sprinkled in there, then we have a junior. Jayse a junior. Then we have 4 seniors.
Mm-hmm.
We're sophomore heavy this year. I say the bulk of our talents coming from our sophomore group this year.
Gotcha. So putting on the weight, hitting the ball well in the off season, looking like your speed's going to be good. In my eyes, it sounds like, hey, we're going to be able to go out there and compete, but it also tells you, we're going to be look out for us in the next year or 2, 3.
Oh, absolutely. Every time somebody approaches me about the baseball team, it's always rebuilding comes up.
Yeah.
And, I tell these guys, I don't feel like we're rebuilding that much.
Yeah.
I think we spoke on that the first time I came in here and spoke for you guys. We got some really talented guys.
Yeah.
You can look at it to a standpoint, we lost 11 seniors last year, so you lose a lot of experience. But I'm telling you, we've got a lot of talent here. We got a lot of guys that's played a lot of baseball over the last couple of years. So I firmly believe that we're going to be able to play with anybody in our district, with anybody in our region right now. We're not a team to put on your schedule that it's going to be an easy win or a pushover.
Yeah.
I'll say it right here in front of everybody. I'm expecting a 20-plus win season out of these guys right here. We will compete for the district, and we will make some noise in the region this year. But, yes, you're right. In 2 or 3 years, we're going to stay.
Right.
So, Coach, you mentioned these guys have been bulking up. And Julian Taggett, if you're watching, it's all clean. You can send drug tests in the morning. We'll pass them with flying colors. But how big is that for your culture, is the off-season program and getting these guys in the weight room and getting them the size that you want them to get?
Man, that is extremely important for the culture I want to build here. And these three guys, they'll tell you here in a little bit, I preach to them that, it's about power. It's about being aggressive, about being violent at the plate, being violent on the mound. Anytime it's just kind of physics, guys. Mass equals velocity. So, the bigger, the stronger these guys get, the more arm strength they have, the more power they have at the bat, the quicker they can get to the ball, the faster they are around the bases. This is something that is very important to me, and I think these guys have really bought into it right now, and they're seeing it themselves how important it is because, just from the first time we was in a cage until right before Christmas, these guys can contest to it. Just the velocity coming off the bat is just increased dramatically. It's getting a little scary behind the cage, behind the L screen right now with these guys. Poor old Kelly Johnson, we're down swing away. I'm going to have to buy him a new L screen at some time because it's all bent up and the they've already destroyed the net on one of them down there. But yeah, it's very important to me right now, and especially as the season goes on, as these boys have put on this muscle and this weight and this strength, it's going to protect them and carry them health-wise to the end of the season where, some of these programs that don't do this, they're going to end up, starting to deteriorate a little early in the season where these guys are going to be able to carry on. And this is what I preach to them, especially my pitchers. I got to have all you guys, all the way through May. So, we got to take care of ourselves and make sure that we're, strong to build if we can.
So, sorry, go on. You're an old man. Interrupt me.
So, Ethan, everything we've just heard, Coach Combs was a great coach. He took both teams, was he here for 2 or 3 seasons?
He was here for 2 seasons as head coach, but he was here as an assistant coach when Barney was our coach.
So he did wonderful. Took one team to the region championship, I think. You went to region last year also.
Yeah.
He did a wonderful job. What's the difference? Because Coach was a great coach. It just seems like there's a different click all of a sudden.
Sounds to me it's like about 25 to 30 pounds difference.
Right.
There's not too much of a difference. Both have us in the weight room a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Coach Miniard definitely a little bit more strict on the weight room policies. But yeah, both great coaches. Just it's a pleasure to have both of them playing in high school. Yeah.
Okay. So Coach, you talked a lot about them getting stronger and going to be aggressive. So what, after seeing a little bit of work, what kind of team are we? Are we going to have the chicks dig the long ball? We're going to be able to crank them over the fence? Are we going to have to play some small ball and bunt and advanced runners? How do you envision us playing?
Do you see the cleanup hitter sitting right there? I'm not setting the lineup, but that dude's a tank. And the camera adds 10 pounds. That boy don't need it.
Talking about you, Jayse.
When I first come in here, before I even laid eyes on these guys or actually see what was going on, I kept hearing that, it's not much of a para team, so I thought we was going to have to small ball it to death all year. But in my heart of hearts right now, after seeing these guys, I feel like we've got 5 or 6 guys that can take a yard.
Yeah.
Any chance they square up on one right now. So I really see. I've told these guys I expect this team right here be on the leaderboard in the state of some batting categories, and I really think that we're going to have hit a whole lot of home runs this year. I really feel that way. I feel like that. Like I said, I have 5 or 6 guys that's going to be able to take it over the fence anytime they square up on one. So yeah, you're going to see a lot of power baseball this year. Yeah. They will be a little bit of small ball sprinkled in.
Right.
I hope everybody gets the nod that we are a power team and starts putting their heels back in the grass, and we'll lay a bunt down every now and then to
right.
Mix up the thing. But yeah, I feel like my perception of this team has definitely changed over the last 2 or 3 months. That we went from kind of a contact team to a power team right now.
Yeah. So you've talked about. Coming in, you're learning things. You've talked a little bit about the district. Now, the schedule was made, correct?
Yes.
So, since you've learned about your schedule and the teams you're going to play, what are some games that you're looking forward to that really stand out on the schedule for you?
Now, when I came in, obviously the district schedule was done for us, and I probably had about 4 or 5 other teams, like Mason County and Rowan County, and I think Madison Central was all on there before I came. So the rest of it, I've kind of been able to put together myself. So you're going to see a lot of different teams, and I think Montgomery's played in the past. We're playing teams like Lafayette and Sayre, Great Crossing, and a couple of those guys right there. So, I've told these guys right here, I do not have a weak schedule. I've come in, and especially, before spring break, we're playing a pretty daggone tough schedule, and probably about a week or two after. I mean, we're playing some teams that's kind of up there top in the region, top in their districts. Sayre obviously can go to state any moment. And so is Madison Central also. So, I wanted these boys to face some tough competition at first. We're going to see some really good pitching. I know the guys that pitches on these teams, and we're going to see some really good arms. So, what I'm hoping is that, we kind of go through this little gauntlet of these teams right here, and then when we get the district and so on, that, we're prepared for really good competition. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, the teams that stand out to me right now is probably Mason County. I think they're bringing back a really great team. Rowan County is going to have a good team. Madison Central is always tough. It doesn't matter. They got so many kids up there to choose from. I mean, they got 60, 70 kids on their roster every year. Like I said, Sayre. I'm actually playing Sayre 3 times. I don't know how Coach conned me into that one. We were supposed to have the first Saturday, we were supposed to do a little 3-way. It turned into a 4-way. And me and him wasn't supposed to play each other. We played each other, and we got 2 other games. So, but I'm going to get the best of him, so I ain't worried about that one. But, yeah, those games right there really stand out to me right now because I think those games – and Great Crossing, we played them. We opened up with them at Great Crossing on March 11th. So I feel like those teams right there really let these boys, play against some really solid competition, see some good arms, some good bats. So it's going to, So I'm just hoping we get through the gauntlet there at first, and at the end we come out where we're prepared for district and region now.
So you all, Blake and Jayse, there, you all haven't been asking any questions. So being new guys to the program, because both of you all came from other schools last year, what's your all's first impression of the team? Expectations. Like what do you all think so far?
Yeah, we've been working really hard since day one, and as a team, I think we all see each other as progressing and stuff. And I just can't wait till season starts and see what actually happened during the off season.
Okay.
Yeah, from the first day, really, from previous teams I've been on, this team's really a family. We all got our back. We already got each other's back. So it's just we've really tight. We're ready to fight for each other on the field.
That's a common theme that we hear from every athlete that comes in, every coach, is that, they're like a family. Of course, that comes with family families fight sometimes, but at the end of the day, that's your family. So you're going to do what you got to do to take up for them. So, Coach, would you agree with that? It's like a family atmosphere going on?
Oh, absolutely. That's one thing I appreciate these guys. It's a brotherhood.
Yeah.
You got to play for each other there. Baseball is a very unique sport. Really, it's an individual sport played in a team setting. Uh-huh. And, a lot of times guys get caught up and, they want to, perform a little bit better than the next guy. What I've really preached to these guys is, if you guys will take care of your business at your spot, you cheer each other on, have each other's back. I said, then as a whole, we're going to be really good one day. And, I see that against these guys. I mean, I've coached at a lot of places, just like Blake just mentioned right then. I feel like these guys right here, he's been able to get integrated faster and become closer with these guys than I've ever seen him with any other team so far.
I mean, and as a parent, that's gotta feel really nice.
Yeah. That's been a blessing to me to watch that, for these guys to accept him into this team and stuff, because it is tough when you're coming in from the outside, and especially his
right. I mean, your coach's kid.
A coach's kid. Let's get out. Get out of the way. He is the coach's kid.
Yeah.
And a lot of times Jayse knows that just as well too. His dad's a head basketball coach.
Yeah.
So, coming in that kind of that stigma and stuff, a lot of times, guys are kind of standoffish and stuff like that and have preconceived notions about it. But, I saw none of that with these guys. And, and I appreciate every player on this team that accepted him and, like I said, Jayse too, because he's coming from the outside.
So, Ethan, one of, I think, 4 seniors. what can you bring to the team this year? Like, what do you see your role as?
I don't make the lineup, but if I had to guess, I'll probably be center or left field, one of the two.
Okay.
Like you said, I've put on a lot of muscle. I've been training really hard in the weight room, eating a lot at home. Hoping to get some power, maybe put a couple balls out. You know? Got a little bit of wheels, hit some doubles, some triples.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you know this. Ethan's a pretty emotional kind of guy. Like he can't hide his emotions on the baseball field very well.
What? You talking about Ethan?
Yeah, I'm talking about Ethan.
It's hard to believe.
Did
hard. I've already figured that one out on Ethan. I'm gonna go ahead and tell him. Yeah, I haven't seen him on the field yet, but I've already seen it. So
he gets that one.
Yeah.
So do you see yourself this year as kind of like the emotional leader of the team?
Yes, I do. Yeah, and no knock to seniors last year, but I was last year too.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of moments last year where I came through. You know, both Clark County games, Madison Southern.
Yeah.
I know last region game was kind of iffy, but I mean, just going in cold, 2 outs, down 1, 2 runners on. I mean, that was tough.
That was a big moment that you were asked to be in.
Yeah, I mean, I was really nervous.
Yeah.
It was tough, but I'm happy to get it done.
Good.
So, Ethan, you're a senior. These pups still got a little while.
Yeah.
You got any college offers?
Little small school from North Carolina, Mid-Atlantic Christian University. They've offered me, and Georgetown College, just 45 minutes up the road, has offered me.
So, what do you look for in a college? Is there anything in particular?
I actually look
other than girls.
Other than like when you go on campus, don't look for the short skirts. It'll ruin you.
You ruined his whole speech.
No, but
what do you do? Just look at him, give a little hair flip.
Mm-hmm, yeah, that's all it takes, man. See you later.
This man right here.
But I actually look a lot into academics, and I'm not just saying that.
He's not just a pretty face, ladies.
Student-teacher ratio, cost of tuition, how much they're going to pay me, percentage-wise, academics and athletics, that plays a huge role into, what school I'm going to choose to go into. So
well, and I'm going to correct you. You talked about, a little small school in North Carolina. When you get to play college ball at any level, it's not a small school.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no disrespect.
No, I know there wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it takes skill to play college any sport.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a big deal for me.
Right.
Of course.
Right. So Blake and Jayse, we talked just a minute ago. You guys both are coaches' sons. Okay. Obviously, your dad's the baseball coach. Jayse, I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but your dad's the basketball coach. So as the child of a coach, how, like, you all have to come in, and do you feel like you have to try harder to prove yourself? Like, if I get a spot, it's because I earned it. It's not because my dad's the coach and it's going to give it to me, or because my dad's the head basketball coach and he's going to pull some strings.
Yeah. It might be better if Ethan answers this one for me.
You can tell the truth. Go ahead.
I definitely have to give my all out there.
Right.
Yeah. Right. He does not take it easy on me. You can ask anybody.
Yeah, I mean, and it's all a team effort. Like, he's try your best to get the spot, but like everyone, they've been working hard since day one. But I mean, it's kind of hard at the start when you come in new and all that, and coach's son, but like, you just had to prove him that you're not just a coach's son.
Right. You
just had to play the ball.
Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, talent is talent. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who your parents are. If you're good, any coach in our district, if you're good, they're going to put you on the field, because every coach here wants to win.
Yeah.
Hey, Jayse, I told you before we started recording, I'm pulling out my bingo card because you're the last member of the Mays family I haven't talked to. So I finally cleared the board. At Ashland, you had 11 stolen bases on 13 attempts. Yeah. So you hear a coach talk about, hey, we're going to have some speed. Does your eyes just light up?
Man, I love stealing. I'm trying to get at least close to 20 steals this season. I love stealing. I mean, I get big leaps. I'm pretty, like, short legs and all that. But, I mean, I show the catcher who I am on those bases. I'm just ready to get on there and show him who I am.
How much of a green light?
That's what I was getting ready to ask.
Do you feel like, you're going to – you see the speed already building up. How much of a green light are you feeling like, hey, look, my hands, but keep on going. You do what you need to do.
Yeah, to me, having a green light, pretty much, most of these guys are going to have a green light.
Yeah,
with me.
right.
I'm not going to hold them back. As long as they have an understanding of, how to read the pitcher and go on the base, they're going to have the green light. They're not going to have to wait on me. I feel like a lot of times coach kind of pigeon-toes players like that. It takes a lot of opportunities away from them. And I've told these guys already, they're going to get the green light until you can prove me different. So they're going to have to prove me that they can't do it.
Yeah, right.
They're going to have to prove me that they can't do it. So they're going to have the green light. I told them I want to wreak havoc on the bases. I want to be borderline, pretty much just crazy on the baseline.
Well, baseball is one of these sports. It's such a mental game. You've seen. The first player that comes to mind is Rick Ankiel. Was a really good pitcher for a while. Lost the strike zone. Couldn't find it again, and he had to end up switching his entire position.
Yeah.
So when you talk about running and stealing, and if you can do it effectively, that messes with the pitchers because they're always constantly thinking. So how much of the mental aspect do you look at and do you preach to your guys? Like, if we're successful this a time or two, we're really going to start. We're going to rattle the pitcher. We're going to rattle the catcher. Like, is there a mental aspect that you coach?
Oh, absolutely. That's something I've been preaching. I was actually mentioning to him a while ago that it's getting ready to get really amped up on the mental part of it because I think especially me being a new coach and I'm having such a young team right now, and just I do it different. I'm going to make Ethan run for not saying I was the better coach while ago. We'll talk about that later.
Got some polls in your future, buddy.
You had a great opportunity, boy. But anyway, I think the mental side of it is tremendous. Like I said, especially, me being a new coach and all these guys being young right here, I think they're trying not to mess up. And that's something I preach to them every day in the case. Don't never be afraid to mess up with me. As long as you're going after it 100% and you're giving everything you got, you'll never hear a word from me. Yeah. Now, if you make a mistake, obviously we're going to talk about it. I'm going to help you correct that. But that is something I want these guys to have is no fear when they're playing for me. I don't want them, and I think a lot of them have fear right now, playing. The things I do. I'm not an easy coach. I think he was trying to be nice on that one ago. I'm pretty tough at sometimes. But anyway, I think the middle side of it is really, so far in the cage, I've really been teaching, mechanics and technique, for the last couple of months. And I was actually mentioning him a while ago. I said, it's time to cut you guys loose now. It's time to really go after it and start, really getting to the point where don't be afraid to mess up. I told them, don't be afraid to mess up right now. Fix it right now so we can play in March. But, I think the middle aspect is really huge right now, especially having a younger team like this. Right. They have to know that I'm behind them and I trust them.
Right.
Yeah. So how many of you guys and the other teammates play outside of school ball?
A lot of us do.
Probably about all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it's just one that doesn't, but he has a reason that he works off of during summer and stuff.
Gotcha.
But, he can play.
But everybody's playing on some sort of team,
I think,
some sort of club team or whatnot outside of school ball.
Yeah, I think Samuel Cooper is our only one not playing ball during the summer.
Gotcha.
Again,
Gotcha.
He works, but don't get me wrong. Yeah, that dude can play. He's got a cannon back there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So how important? Because all these AAU teams and travel ball, it's become a big deal. How important is that in the game of baseball?
I think it's important for one of the main reasons because I think it's good to play that because when you get into the travel ball, especially when you can get closer to the national teams and stuff like that, you get to really play against some high-level competition. And I think the more high-level competition these guys get to see, the better they're going to end up being prepared for it. I think right now that's kind of the main thing for these guys. And besides that, getting noticed. You got 3 guys right here who wants to play college ball. I've got several more on my team that wants to go play college ball. And, unfortunately, high school ball just don't draw it like it used to when we were younger. And so now you have to go out and play these national tournaments in Georgia and Florida and Alabama and places like this to kind of get noticed and recognized. So, I encourage all these guys to go out and play summer ball, get on a good travel team and, try to get noticed and put the work in.
So you 3 all said you've played travel. What's the favorite city you've played in?
Man, There's a lot.
You can say city, tournament. I don't care either way.
I mean, I kind of, when I was younger, experienced everything. I was in Panama City. I love that place. But recently, Lake Point is a great place to play.
I was going to say Lake Point.
Yeah.
Where is Lake Point?
Is that
it's
Georgia?
in Georgia.
Yeah.
Cartersville, Georgia. It's actually the
It's the
PBR.
PBR,
It's actually their complex down there. And
Okay.
they have the PBR national tournament every
Best
year. down there.
fields you ever play on.
Yeah.
I really like Nashville. It's fun to play down there. Just
A few more years, Nashville will be fun too.
I think he's holding out for a college close to Nashville.
Right.
Be on alert.
So, something coming from the basketball world and knowing very little like baseball strategy, situational stuff. Is that something you can prepare for and practice? Like, can you just basketball wise, we can put 10 seconds on the clock and say, okay, we're down 1, we need a bucket, go get it.
Right.
Baseball, is that something you can simulate?
That is something you can simulate up to a point.
Yeah.
I think basketball is probably a little bit more simplicity to it, just for the fact that, when you're having somebody, throwing an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, these guys that the ball might not ever even get in play for you to even act something out, or Lord, it can go anywhere all over the court, where a lot of times all over the field where, somebody's going to shoot it, it's going to go a different direction. But, we're actually getting ready. I just actually switched up my schedule at school with Austin, and so I'm putting in a lot more time over there actually getting ready to really start nailing down on some of the situational stuff. But, I have a lot of different situational stuff I want to teach these guys and get in there. But, at the end of the day, it's still just going up there and playing off instinct. I can sit here and say, okay, guys, man on second, third, 2 outs is this, and then everything can just break loose and everything just fall apart the way you wanted it to go. But I do put in stuff like that. I have plays and things like that you hope that they're able to process and follow through with. But yeah, it is important, especially game management towards the end of the game. Mm-hmm. I think you got to have some sort of plan, because if you start just kind of winging it towards the end of the game, you're in a district play against GRC and it's 1-1, then you better have some kind of plan in your head what to do at certain situations.
So you've talked a lot about the region tournament. We've talked about the state tournament. Yeah. Before we can get to those places, we have to get out of the district tournament.
Absolutely.
So, what have you learned thus far about our district that we play in?
The good thing about it is I know a lot of kids that plays for GRC and a lot of kids plays for Bourbon County. Really, I'll be honest, we really don't know anybody who really plays for Paris. He's played actually with a lot of these kids, travel ball and stuff like that. JT Ritchie comes to mind. He's sophomore, right? Yeah, sophomore. He's actually on his travel team. Tremendous pitcher, number 1 pitcher Bourbon County's got. So I actually have a really pretty good understanding of how Bourbon and GRC will play. I mean, they're good teams. I mean, GRC is going to be a really good team. Yeah. It's according to who you talk to in this community. They'll say, they're not going to be that good. They are. They got some talented guys down there. Yeah. I think we can compete with any of them. Mm-hmm. I think, it's probably going to come down to whoever has the best night, whoever's pitcher's on, whoever's bats are hot that night. But, I look for us and Bourbon and GRC, not to downgrade Paris at all, but, to have some battles during the district this year.
Is Richie the one that pitched against GRC last year in the district?
Yeah.
Yeah, the kid pitched to Jim.
Yeah. And he was a freshman last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a really good kid, really talented pitcher. Hits his spots very well, totally under control. Got a decently strong arm, but can really read the batter and keep you off balance like that. So, I mean, there's some, these teams have some guys just like we do that can step up and play. So, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to run away with it by no means. I think it's going to be a battle, and I'm hoping that we can come out on top.
You had a guy last year like Matthew Rowlett that had the ERA that he had. That's just a phenomenal pitcher in the district, in the region, really in the state for that matter. Do you have someone like that this year? Is it going to be more of a platoon thing that you're going to have to put out there? Is it you're going to have 4, 5, 6 pitchers that you're going to be like, look, guys, we're going to have to mix it up and go from there?
Yeah, I feel like obviously we're still in the earliest stages. We're getting ready to start flat grounds, this coming week and things like that. But from what I know, from what I hear, and kind of from a little bit I've seen, I feel like we're going to have probably about 3 guys that can step up and kind of be solid starters for us. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a platoon type deal.
Gotcha.
I think I'm going to have about probably 7 or 8 guys that's going to be able to pitch, going to be able to throw, and I think that's something that we're going to have to try to find out real early. How to use them.
Gotcha.
We're going to have different guys that can come in and close for me. Other guys can start. Actually, we just had a transfer from GRC, a young kid, a freshman, that I hear that's a really good little ball player, got a good arm. So, we're getting some transfers in right now from other schools that's kind of hearing what these guys are doing.
Is there a limit on pitching in high school? Is
yes,
there
sir.
so many pitches?
Yeah, there's just so many pitches. Especially, first couple of weeks, I always ramp my pitchers up. You'll see, if you come watch us in March, you'll see, at least 2 or 3 pitchers handle a game. Because I've just, I need to preserve them, especially being young arms. I need to make sure they're able to finish in May. So they'll probably get 40, 45 pitches. I'll get screamed out a lot because somebody will be on fire. I won't throw them 95 that first game, but just let all the parents know.
I'll be the one taking my hat. Come on, coach!
Come on, man. What's he doing?
Man.
He don't understand.
He's got 7 strikeouts, coach.
Just ain't in a year when I need him to get 18. He'll be right there for me. But yeah, so I really think that we have a couple of guys that I feel like Blake and I feel like Jayse both is going to be able to be starters for me and be able to carry that 5 or 6 innings towards the middle, start the middle at the end of the season. I feel like Evan Kofer is going to give us some really fine innings there. Rex Turner, I keep wanting to call him by his dad's name. I feel like Rex is going to give us some quality innings off. I got guys like Samuel Cooper's wanting to come out behind the plate and pitch. Eli Leach, that from my understanding pitched, some good quality innings last year on varsity. That's going to give us some Buster. Buster is going to be able, he's just a sophomore, strong arm. Right now I'm probably going to have on my team at least probably 4 arms that's going to be in the mid-80s. Have one up, around 90.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have the velo. We got to dial in and make sure they can hit their spots and stuff. So I'm then probably have another 4 guys that's throwing low 80s right now.
Yeah.
So you think about that in about 2 years or even another year. I could possibly be sitting here in 2 years talking to you guys having 5 or 6 guys that throwing upper 80s, low 90s.
Yeah.
Neil, you hit that?
I used to. Maybe if I warm my arm back up, I might get it up there again. I always like you talk about 90s. I was in high school in the early 2000s, and I come around during the time of guys like Justin Adcock and just horses that could just throw the ball. And I remember watching him one time. He threw it and right down the center of the plate, first pitch of the game. And the coach yelled at the kid. He's like, "Why didn't you swing?" And he said, "It sounded high." so he was throwing gas. Yeah. So, I think about that all the time. I'm like, because the kid was like, "It sounded high." I don't know.
Before we move on, I got to ask these 3 questions.
You ask them.
So, I started doing this when we had the girls' basketball team on. Started asking questions, not sports related. There's a special lady you 3 want to shout out. I've seen pictures of you all going to dances. I don't want to embarrass anybody or call anybody out, but I will.
I'm good. I'm locked in on baseball.
Yeah, I think me and Blake.
No real contact tour signs.
Yeah, we're locked in right now.
Well, Facebook pictures say different.
Well, that was past.
Facebook pictures can be misleading.
Yeah, doctor. He said they're doctored.
They're
doctored pictures.
So I didn't see a certain individual with a certain female who signed to play softball at Troy.
Oh,
I didn't see that.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
It was a doctor picture.
I saw him.
You saw it too? Huh. I gave you your shot. You blew it. It came right down the middle.
Hey, he looked at you and said it sounded high.
They're not like the girls. The girls were just they were pointing and telling and.
But listen, they said it earlier in the show. They got each other's back.
That's right.
So if one ain't going down, none of them's going down. We're good.
So we're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk some pro baseball. I'm going to get your guys' opinions on some pro baseball, and I think we have enough time. We're pro wrestling at our core. I think we might talk a little pro wrestling if we can get to it. So this MLB offseason has been ridiculous. And you pointed to your hat, Blake. So we're gonna start there in the city of Angels.
I wondered if that was just for the fit or if he was actually a fan.
The Dodgers are all in with stupid money, but they're all in. The problem is Dave Roberts is still their manager, and he's not very good.
I mean, you're right.
So
I can't argue that one.
He's got to have a short leash.
Yeah.
But the Dodgers are in a win, they're in a win now situation. Would you all agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we don't win this season, I don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, like if you,
I don't know.
I know in a couple years they better draft Blake Miniard if they're if they're paying attention.
If they want any chance to win the game,
I mean, other than getting Ohtani, they went out and basically did what the Rangers did this last year. And look what that
Say his
helped.
name. Yamamoto.
Yamamoto.
That's a fun name to say.
shout out to Eli.
so is a guy like Ohtani, is he like he can't sustain what he's doing, right? Like at some point he's going to have to decide whether he's a pitcher or a hitter. Correct, Coach?
That's right.
So I mean, you can do that in high school. You can do that in college. You can't do that very long at the majors. Not at the level that he's doing it.
Yeah, especially him just having Tommy John.
Yeah.
I mean, you can twice. So you can already see kind of wear and tear it's done. I mean, I'm sure it's been a thrill to him, and obviously it's helped him get that $700 million contract. But yeah, I think at some point he's going to have to decide what's a better quality to him to the program, and I think that's going to be his bat.
I think his bat's way more valuable.
I think his bat's way more valuable than his arm.
Blake, have you ordered the Ohtani jersey yet?
I'm trying to get him to get me that pre-order.
You just spoiled one of his birthday presents here in about 3 weeks. So yeah, he's got an Ohtani jersey on pre-order right now. So
Did you see what he had to do to get the 17? He bought Joe Kelly's wife
Because Joe Kelly's wife was adamant
Porsche.
that he'd not give up 17.
Yeah.
And Ohtani
Except
was
for
like,
a Porsche,
here you
like,
go. What if I give you that?
Did you see her reaction?
Yeah.
She was peeking at the door like, no, he did not.
Well, because Joe Kelly basically was like, you got to talk to my wife. Like, she says no, I'm not giving the number up. And so, Shohei was like, I got it. I got $700 million in the bank. I got it.
He only
has $20 million in the bank. Sorry.
He's only got $2 million this year.
Right, just $2 million.
Not that much.
Not that much. I mean,
Especially in California.
Like
That's like $20.
yeah.
So moving on to the Braves, that's Sean's favorite team.
Woohoo!
Are you sure about that? Can Chris Sale get you over the top?
No.
Okay.
He won't make it out of spring training.
Chris Sale is one of the most
I put in the notes. It's 5 years too late for him to be with the Braves.
Yeah. I mean, Chris Sale was good about 5 years ago. He's not.
He was.
And they probably overpaid for him.
Probably.
Gave up Von Grissom, right?
Vaughn Grissom.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, for some odd reason, the Braves did not like what they saw from him, whether it be attitude or what. But he came up last year. They sent him right back down.
Is that Marquise's boy?
No, that is not.
We could say that. It ought to be.
I mean, nobody's
Nobody's
going to
Nobody
correct us.
knows.
So, how do y'all feel about the Braves? Obviously, you don't think the Braves are going to win the NL. You think the Dodgers are going to win.
Yeah, obviously, yes.
So, Jayse, who's your team?
I mean, I really like the Dodgers because I was a Dodgers fan.
But are you just a bandwagon
No,
Dodger
come
fan?
on
You were saying Reds yesterday.
No, I am a Reds fan. I am a Reds fan. But I'm a solid Reds fan, but they haven't been good in a while.
But
I still love
Ellie Cruz is here.
Yeah, but
Frankie Montas.
I went to 4 games and he was 0 for 4 every game.
Maybe you're just bad luck, Jayse.
I don't know. I mean, he did good when I was watching on TV, but I don't know. But I like the
Definitely
Dodgers.
are bad luck.
So,
Yeah.
and something I know about Ethan is he's owned a jersey of about every player in Major League Baseball at some point. So, what team are you a fan of currently?
Come on, you know that. Phillies for life, baby.
Phillies for life?
Yes.
He likes them powder blues.
Yes, I do.
I do like
Those
the
powder blues are
Philly
nice.
jerseys.
Don't let Jayse fool you. When we were on the way in here, he said Phillies are beating the Dodgers in the NLCS.
I did say that. Yeah, I did say that.
And he's probably not wrong because the Dodgers get hurt too
Yeah.
much. And 2 of the players, Ohtani and Glasnow both have injury problems.
Yeah.
So if they finish the season on the roster, maybe they'll be competitive.
Yeah, they always go 50-50, or 500-500, and regular season And when like Bryce Harper in playoffs, no one can beat him.
Different level.
Yeah.
And that Philly crowd in the playoffs.
Yeah. That song went crazy.
We'll see what our $1 billion Japanese super team has to say about that.
Nah.
Bryce Harper says 450. That's what he says. Yeah.
Bryce Harper said American muscle.
So do the Yankees have the most injury-prone outfield in all of baseball?
Yes.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, at any given time, they could all go out and hit 60 home runs.
Yeah.
But they also could miss 150 games. So is Juan Soto that big? And do we think Juan Soto is going to? He got arrested.
Well, I mean, we got minors on the show. It's probably not a good idea.
So, Juan Soto, does he move the needle now that he's not in San Diego?
No, because he's not better than Aaron Judge, and they ain't doing nothing with Aaron Judge either.
They still can't pitch.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Plus that
Other
short
than
porch
one.
in right field, just boom, boom, boom.
They really missed their chance getting
Yeah.
Joey Votto a few years ago when he would have tore the short porch up.
Yeah.
So does Joey Votto end up anywhere,
I was thinking that this summer. Yes, he hasn't really popped out in a while.
or did we just see the end of Joey Votto? What do y'all think?
I think it's time to go home.
Yeah.
I think he's about 5
Yeah.
years
Done.
past time to
Yeah.
go home.
Yeah.
I think when he broke that hit record, or the consecutive game after that season, he should have been gone.
You know, you can see Mike Trout in the same light. Is he was so loyal to Cincinnati for so long that he gave up chances at championships and playing on better teams because he was so loyal to Cincinnati. And I think Mike Trout is the same way. I mean, the Angels have wasted all of Mike Trout's good years so far being mediocre at best.
You're a Phillies fan, Dodgers, and Jayse. You're just kind
He's
of
non-committal.
I'll pick whoever's better
Baseball
every time.
warrior.
Yeah, I love watching baseball.
But is it exciting that Cincinnati actually has somewhat of a decent young team?
Jayse, before
Yeah.
you answer that, this man has 2 red shirts that he bought last year. He's going to act like a lifelong fan.
Oh, no, I'm a lifelong fan.
He bought 2 shirts last year.
No. So, but I mean, at least they're decent.
Yeah.
You know, to where you can drive to a game and be like, yeah, this will be a pretty good game.
Yeah, it's fun to watch the Reds, but like they're off and on too much. I mean,
Because they don't
you
have
never
any pitching.
know. Yeah, you never know if he's on pitch or not.
Didn't they just get rid of Andrew Abbott
What?
or Abbott?
They
Did
did what?
Did they get rid of him?
See,
No,
he
I
don't-
hope not.
He don't even know.
That's
You're
how
asking
big
the
a fan
wrong
he is.
person.
He's a huge fan.
Do you guys know
It's
that?
football
though, or am I
season right
just-
now.
Oh, well, he's checking. Look, he is the human Rolodex.
That is not.
I think I saw he might have signed somewhere else.
So,
could be
Well, I
wrong.
mean, they've got
He was the
signing
one.
somewhere else. That I know that for a fact. He didn't do that because he was a rookie last year, and they still own 4 years, I think, on him currently.
I could,
But
be
now
wrong.
he was in talks with a trade
Yeah.
for bigger people, and I was like, let's not do that. Yeah,
they just acquired Frankie Montas. Was Frankie Montas a free agent?
he's
Or-
not worth $16 million.
You don't think Frankie Montas is?
I mean,
Debatable.
the Reds.
we talk about Ohtani just got $700 million and Frankie Montas
That's-
isn't worth 16.
That's not the Reds' game, although they did go out and spend $105 million. So, I mean, it's kind of shocking.
I'm not saying anything on X about it.
Hey,
Good, thank you.
coach is going to try to get in and the door's locked.
I got you.
So, has Roy been warming up his pipes to do to call the games?
He don't rest, man. He's the best around.
He's the best. I mean, he is
Yeah.
the voice from above.
He is.
I mean, has he been working on his one-liners?
He don't need no practice. He's just that
He's
good.
just natural.
He's just that good.
Just natural.
Yeah.
Okay. all
Does he
right.
retire after this year?
Yeah, I think he will.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he got someone coming in though.
You guys surprised
My
me.
dad.
Just got
my
surprised.
dad.
Oh, that's right.
Next step's coming through the door.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, and also my dad was an announcer at Ashland too.
That's right.
Yeah, so
Is your
after
your
Roy-
dad baseball announcer? Is that what I missed?
Yeah.
at Ashland was.
I don't know if you know it or not. His dad's a basketball coach.
Really? I
Yes.
hadn't heard that.
It hadn't really made any news. So, I mean, I said this earlier. Well, actually, before I get there, right now, I want you, and we're going to make predictions. This is, what is it, January 2nd, 2024?
Yep.
If you had to put $100 down, all 4 of you, who's going to win the World Series? And don't
go with your
talk
heart.
with your heart. Be smart about it. Who wins the World Series? I'm going to start with the eldest baseball player.
Diamondbacks. Young team. Really young team.
Wow. All right.
Didn't see that one coming.
All right, Jayse.
Phillies or Dodgers? One of them.
Well, you got to pick.
You gotta pick one.
You can't put $100 down unless you go put $100 down on both of them.
Say the Phillies, do you know what?
Yeah, probably Phillies because Bryce Harper's is so good in playoffs.
And
Yeah.
Blake's going to say the Braves.
Dodgers is sweeping the whole playoffs, undefeated.
Undefeated. Wow.
Sweeping it.
Interesting.
This is recorded.
I can't wait for you guys to be like, dang, Blake was really right.
They ain't doing nothing
That's really right.
if Mookie and Freddie go 0 for 50 again against the Diamondbacks.
And don't forget, they still have Dave Roberts as their manager.
We'll lose one game.
So, Coach, who you got in the World Series?
I think the Dodgers will win too.
They better hope they do.
Yeah, they better hope they do. But I think they do. I think actually Ohtani's going to bring something different to one of these other guys. I think they keep shoveling in all these superstars. I think Ohtani's just not just because of his play, but because of his attitude.
Yeah.
And I think that what he's done for the team already by giving up all the money and doing this and that. So I think they're going to really rally around this guy and do something special.
All right. So we mentioned this earlier. At our core, we're a pro wrestling podcast. That's how we started. And do we got Hulk Hogan still there?
Yeah,
Hulk's
he's
still there. Hulk's still there. He was actually our first episode.
That's right.
So you two got to take a pretty cool trip recently.
We did.
Survivor Series in Chicago.
Yeah.
How was it?
That was the best event I've ever went to wrestling. Best live show I've ever seen in my life. It was so good.
Coach, would you agree?
Oh yeah, it was incredible. Yeah, it was different than kind of going to a SmackDown or a Raw.
Yeah.
We went to the SmackDown the night before, which was incredible too. Yeah. But it's just, it was just electric. Just the feel and the excitement in there, and the matches was just incredible.
Well, we went to SummerSlam last year in Nashville.
Yeah.
I guess now it's technically 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's a whole different animal when you go to one of the big four.
Yeah.
Right. And are you two wrestling fans?
Ethan,
I'm a baby at wrestling. I don't really pay attention.
we're trying to.
He's learning from Blake.
We'll probably get you.
He watched day one with us last night.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's
a start.
That's a start.
Yeah.
So, you all would agree that the product right now is better than it's been in.
Since Triple H just took over, it's been incredible. Yeah.
So, what's been your favorite part since the Triple H era took over?
I would say WrestleMania and Survivor Series. I said best two things of the year easily. Probably WrestleMania Night 1 is probably
way better than WrestleMania Night 2.
Probably the best pay-per-view of the year, followed by Survivor Series, and then I'd probably put WrestleMania Night 2 still. Maybe Money in the Bank. I really like.
I saw a article last week, 2 weeks ago, that some mark somewhere ranked all the pay-per-views that WWE had put on, and it gave them out of a 10, and I think none of them went below 6.5 or 7, which doesn't happen. You remember a few years ago they were snooze, you could just miss the pay-per-view. It was so predictable, and it just wasn't exciting.
Yeah.
So, does Cody finish the story?
No.
I'm gonna say yes, and I hope he does.
He does. Well, and I said 2 weeks ago that
he's breaking Hogan's record. Roman is breaking Hogan's record.
He's not, and it's time for Roman to go. Roman's had a great run. This is a great story. It's time for Roman to go.
Yeah.
And it's time go away.
Yeah.
You're not healthy. Go away.
He's already named his replacement in Solo.
Yeah.
Well,
And the bloodline's not going away. The bloodline's here to stay.
Yeah.
And it's a great story. It's a great faction. But it's time for Roman to lose the belt and move on, because it's time to get the Winged Eagle back.
Yeah, I agree.
And we're going to get the Winged Eagle back. So, last thing I'm going to ask, and Jayse, you can throw in a name here. All right. Who wins the Royal Rumble? No, you got to throw a name in. You can even say Brock Lesnar.
I probably will.
Okay. Ethan?
Let's do women.
Phil Brooks, CM Punk.
Phil Brooks, Chick Magnet, Punk.
I'm gonna say Punk wins the Rumble. Cody wins the Elimination Chamber, faces Roman, or has to go through a gauntlet to get the Roman and WrestleMania.
Because Cody hasn't suffered enough.
I could see them going kind of a Kofi Kingston, Kofi Mania story with Cody, kind of just week after week having to go through Solo and Jimmy, just stuff like that. And then women's, I think Bayley's winning it.
I agree with that.
I think Bailey's went, then damage control's turning on her, and Bailey versus
If Charlotte never got hurt, we were going to get a 4 horsewomen versus damage control match at WrestleMania.
If Sasha Banks and AJ Lee comes back in the Rumble, I'm going to freak out.
I totally forgot about Women's Royal Rumble. Sasha Banks, entrance number 30.
All right. Coach, who you got?
I do not think CM Punk does. I think it's too obvious.
Cody. No, that's too obvious.
2 years.
And I don't think Cody does.
Yeah.
Just kind of what Blake just touched on there. I'm going with Gunther.
He's good.
That's a good.
He has been so dominant, and it's in all this. It's almost like all the mid-level guys he's been beating up on every week is getting old now.
Yeah.
They have to do something with him, or they're going to lose him.
Yeah.
And he's just too good right now. He's incredible.
He's really good.
And he went to the final 2 last year.
Yeah.
And
probably beat the snot out of Cody.
Beat the snot out of Cody.
Yeah.
So he probably actually should have did it last year. But that's who my pick is.
Cody and Gunther at the end of the match was a whole match.
It was a 10-minute match then.
Yeah. It was absolutely incredible that Gunther went that long and then fought Cody that well.
I got it under control. I'm driving the ship. I'm the captain now.
You're a passenger right now.
All right. So, how loud was the pop when Chick Magnet came out at the end of Survivor Series?
I couldn't hear. Hey, a funny story. He FaceTimed me. I told him, if Punk comes out, FaceTime me. I will show you the arena. He FaceTimed me. Couldn't hear a word he was saying.
I had no clue what was
no
going
idea
on.
what I was saying.
Phone was all laggy and glitchy. It was crazy.
Hey, I thought I about broke the. I got on the chair and I started jumping up and down. I was freaking out too. Like, oh my god.
Like Randy Orton came out
and
he just erupted.
But
and I told you guys before we started here today, but when CM Punk came out,
I got a headache from it.
It wasn't just cheering; it was emotional cheering. It was like my long lost best friend just showed up after 10 years.
Yeah.
That I love so much. It was deafening. These people crying.
Yeah. Blake said he was crying whenever it happened.
The Chicago guy.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
So, and that's what makes wrestling, that's what makes sports so entertaining is that emotion. When they can draw that emotion out of you, it's fantastic. So, well, I thought that was fun.
Absolutely.
We don't typically get to do things like that whenever we have our coaches' corner. So we got the audience got to see a little bit of what our Saturday shows are like, and actually, Coach Mays gets a taste of that as well. So tune in Saturday. But before we leave, we want to make sure we name our Tutus Dog of the Week, and that is Menifee County senior Gage Jolly, who broke the school record with 19 rebounds in a game against Belfry. It's a huge deal. Congratulations, Gage.
Of course, he has a name like Jolly here in the holiday season.
Yeah, Holly Jolly.
Yeah.
So, and then we also have our Athlete of the Week, the KimSoft Athlete of the Week. Are we naming him on the show? You just looked at me like I wasn't supposed to do that. And we're not doing that.
We're not. Faked you out.
No, we're going to do it on the next show.
Okay, so just forget everything I said. You have to tune in Saturday to figure out who that is.
We're going to be live on the next show.
Oh, well, just come right back.
Yeah. As soon as this one's over with, we'll start
That was a tease.
That was a tease. That was a teaser.
Yeah.
Teaser.
Cliffhanger.
So, well, guys, thank you so much for coming out, man. That was really fun.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Well, and we expect you all to come back as often as you want to, and we want to talk. Definitely after the season starts, and we want to keep up with you guys.
And we want the district championship trophy sitting right here on the middle of the table.
Hey, number 6.
Hey, I will say that a baseball jersey would look good on the wall, Coach.
It would.
I'll bring one by next week.
Okay.
And hat would look good on my head.
Okay.
But listen, not much looks good on his head. So. You know what? You heard your wife put that post out about having a handsome husband, so she's married to 2 people.
She has to be.
She has to be.
It ain't me.
It's not you.
No.
So, guys, there you have it for this week's edition of the Community Trust Bank Coach's Corner, presented by the From Corner to Corner podcast. If you haven't already, go out and give us a like on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube, make sure you're sharing our stuff. We do all kinds of fun stuff all the time. Remember to help us promote our Coach's Corner show and our Athlete of the Week. We do what we do for our community, for our teams, for our community, our coaches, our community, our students, and our community. And we think our community deserves it. We'll catch you all next week. Stay safe, friends.
The MOCO 4 Horsemen would like to thank you for listening to From Corner to Corner. Be sure to go out and follow us on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook, Instagram, and even YouTube. whatever podcast platform that you listen to us on, be sure to go out and give us a 5-star review. Thanks as always, and we look forward to seeing you next week.